Just when you thought I was done for the day, I'm not. Yeah, laser engraving metal dog tags. So I ended up getting some of these, which these are small. Dog tags I remember having in the military were bigger, but since I picked some of these up and they're really thin, I mean, check that out. That is just wildly thin. So ordered off of Amazon, got a bunch of these because I saw a cool file, and what I want to end up doing is showing you that file. This is the file here, and it's currently printing out, so we'll see. We got a couple minutes left, but I found this Etsy store with this right here. So it's a three-dimensional ID tag, dog tag, which, I mean, that looks so cool. 3D illusion military dog tag, anodized aluminum. Yeah, this could be interesting to see how this turns out. But it's supposed to be for diodes, CO2, and fiber lasers. We'll see. I've seen people print this out, and it looks amazing, at least on Facebook. I'm not sure. Just kind of going off the settings, 1 to 24%. They have another one, kind of that one there, which they did 1% to 24% max power grayscale. We'll see what ends up happening. With this, I ended up doing speed of 3,000, 24% max power, minimum 1%, 363 DPI, and we're doing grayscale. So it ends up that is what we're printing. And I did a material test on it on the other side, and we'll see how this goes. But I don't know. I'm not seeing a lot of print on there. So we might have to run this again. The joys of new stuff. Yeah. Because, yeah, 1% minimum power, I don't think my laser cuts or does anything at 1%. I think it basically just shows the light. And we've got 22 seconds left, so yeah, I'm not thinking we're going to get there. And again, this is very different than the recommended speed, because for, let's see, coated metal, it's supposed to be a speed of 1,000 at 100% power. So really, I'm not expecting great things out of this. I could be pleasantly surprised, because at 1%, honestly, I think that just shows the light. And we'll see how this goes. But that's what it said. It said, you know, the 5-watt laser, and that's what I've got. But honestly, at 1%, I don't think that's what I'm going to end up getting. So we will run this and see what we get. We might have to change it. And we might have to go back down to a speed of 1,000, and then we'll run it again and see what happens. Because honestly, I just don't see anything on there. I mean, when you look at this picture, do you see anything? Yeah, we are almost done. Yeah, I'm not. And it is done. Let's see. And barely anything at all. Nada. We got basically nada. So let's go back to this. And since on the recommendation is 1,000, let's go ahead and we will set this at 1,000, and we'll still keep the 24 and 1%. We'll see how that goes. And it should take 20 minutes. Wow, 20 minutes, really? 20 minutes. but that's how it's supposed to go. You gotta love the test stuff. So it's already framed. So let's go back to that. We'll hit frame just to show where we're getting. And we're good on that. Actually, it's eyeballed that pretty good. Of course, it took a number of times of me running back and forth, hit frame, turn around, running to see where it's at. And let's try it at 1,000% and see how it works now. So speed of 1,000, max power 24%, minimum power 1%. And there was like a super tiny faint image on that. But I mean, you couldn't really see it. I don't know if you could see it on the when I lifted up the lid. But I mean, this is just a black coated thin metal dog tag. It's not even a real military dog tag where it has the edges. So yeah, this is about probably the cheapest dog tag you could get off of Amazon. But we're seeing, I don't know, maybe we're getting something a little bit there. But this is going to take about 20 minutes, so we'll see how this goes. But basically, because usually what you'll end up seeing, let me see if I can, this is the original picture. Let me just bring this up for reference. And we'll bring this up to, I don't know, just drop it down to 40. See if we can get it basically the same size. So that's supposedly the image there. And I think we had to drop it a little bit more. But that's what we end up having. That's the original image. This is the prepared image, which is the depth map of this image, and that's how it ends up engraving it. So we'll see that's what you're supposed to get. So we'll see what happens. What do we got going on? Oh no. Could be interesting. Could be interesting to see how this goes. Let's see, can I... New camera overlay. No, I'm not going to be able to do that. Thought I'd be able to do my share screen. Shape overlay, no. Widget, no. What is a countdown, new countdown overlay? It says, we don't want that. Says it can do an overlay for timer. Just add this. So supposedly this is the estimated time. We'll see how this goes. But I'm not holding out. I'm not holding out hope, because the first time we did it, yeah, that's supposed to be the final result. This is the depth map, and when we ran this the first time with the recommended settings of 3,000 speed, 24% max power, 1% minimum power, we didn't get anything. So yeah, well, let's back to, is that going to do anything? doesn't look promising either. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to play with this to try to get this setting. But that's what it ended up saying. I mean, on the... everybody's happy with the design. I mean, you can see the people that did it, and it's like, oh, this is awesome, this is incredible. And it's like, you know, I figured, $3. 5-watt diode used at 3000, minimum grayscale. Where do I have this? Yep, I have it at grayscale, 363. Except it was at 3000, but at 3000 speed we didn't get anything. And then on their other one, came over here, 5-watt, 1 to 22%. If using a dither, I would use Jarvis at 3000, minimum 5000, minimum 25%. See, but here, yeah, 1 to 22% power. It says if using a dither, I would use Jarvis 5-watt diode, 3000, minimum would be 25% power. Maybe we'll try that next. But I think it's going to have to be, I don't know, 25? Seriously? Really? 25 minimum. So the minimum would be 25. And so I'm assuming the max would be 100. And then the speed would be, we could try that again at 3000. So 3000, max power 100%, minimum 25% based on that right there if we were using Jarvis. So we go here, and if we went to Jarvis, I'll give our dithering example. Jarvis is one of the better ones. So we could try that on the next one. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just get rid of that baby. We'll go back to our engraving and see what we're doing. Doesn't look promising, does it, folks? Yeah. It's so faint. I'm not seeing anything. So let's just go ahead and stop this. Go back home. And let's see, cuts and layers, let's do our, that. Now here it says it's going to be 7 minutes and 14 seconds, so we're going to go to back to 3000. Oh, but wait a second. 3000. But that's Jarvis. But that took away our max power. But it says if you're doing Jarvis, 25% minimum. Maybe it means 25% max power on Jarvis with the dithering. Let's try that. And that will put us at 7 minutes and 14 seconds. So let's frame that up. And I think we're good there. And okay, we'll do that. And we will pause that. We'll reset because it's about supposed to be 7 minutes. Let me redo this timer thing. Because I've never done this timer thing before. And 14 seconds. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and hit start and see what happens. That still seems like it's really fast. Does it look like we're getting something there? Possibly. Let me see if I can move that camera a little bit closer. Now, let's see if we can, we're going to have to manual focus this baby in there. It's a little bit off. But are we getting anything? I don't know. Looks a little skimpy. I don't know. It looks kind of rough. Considering on what we're supposed to be getting and what other people have got. So this brings into question, just because it's a 5-watt laser and it says to do 25% power, that might not be the case. Because just because, like on that other setting it talks about, like the one that says minimum 1% power on grayscale, maximum 24, that's assuming that at 1% you're going to get some type of engraving, or it's just not going to engrave at all, but at the max you're going to get an engraving. But I don't think that's going to work here, because we're not seeing that. But I did the material test, and the material test we got, but again, the material test is built upon kind of like, let me see if I can show you. It's built upon like your power setting. So you got your power setting, and then you have your speed setting here, and then you would end up, you get a little bit of gradient, but with metal, it seems like metal, you either engrave through the paint or you don't. So on the grayscale, there's, I think, obviously different levels of power. So the laser goes on and it goes off, but if it's at 100% power, then obviously it'll take away all the paint. But if it's at a lower percentage of power, like 10% or something like that, then it won't take away as much paint. At least that's what I'm getting. It's almost like we see a little bit of an engraving. of a figure on there. Let's stop this and see if we can see anything. Super, super faint. I don't know, you could barely see that, but it was super faint for sure. So I'm wondering if, let's go back here. %, max power. Wonder if we change this to, instead of 3,000, we go to 1,000. And that's a Jarvis 25% power. Because we're just not getting a good enough engraving on there. You can see a faint outline of the boots, the toes, and it's we're almost there, but it's faint. It's very faint. Good thing is we only got about a minute left, supposedly. So I don't know why this countdown is at 6:25. Oh, because it's supposed to be 7 minutes. Yeah, it's supposed to be 7:14. Huh. Do that later, because this has only got like 20 seconds left, and we'll try it again. Maybe we can inch it over just a hair, because I think we're missing that part on the right side just a little bit. But as far as like the up and down, I think we're good. Yeah, we're getting close. Closey. This would be really nice if you had a laser system that had a camera instead of the $200. Okay, let's see what we got. How did that turn out there? Yeah, you can barely see. Something's barely coming up there. Okay, that's all the plane we're going to do. So let's go back. And at 1,000, recommended for is 1,000. So we're going to go to 1,000 at 25%, and that will end up taking us 1623. So let's edit that. 1623. And what we'll end up doing, let's frame that out. I think that's pretty good. It's a lot better. And we'll just go ahead and hit start. And we'll see how this goes. So definitely one thing to engrave definitely one thing to engrave on metal and just to take away the paint versus doing this 3D depth thing that we got going on. So that would be interesting. Because the material test on this was quick. I mean, I think I ended up doing, yeah, like speed of a range of like, what was it, 800 or 900, something like that. The speed of 1100 was the range. Power was like 80, 90, and 100%. So we'll see how this goes. Our old timer's working pretty good. And are we, the question is, are we getting anything usable? I don't know, it doesn't look promising. I don't know, we'll see what happens. And there was another guy that on one of the Facebook groups that I belong to for laser engraving, he did this same file, or I think he did the other one, still 3D image type of thing. And it looked dead on, just like the other pictures we'd seen. And I'm just wondering, if you have 100, you know, this is a 5-watt diode laser, but I'm wondering if there's different, obviously there's different settings for how much energy is being put out by the laser at certain percentages. And I know that with, like when I was framing out some stuff and I used a piece of paper on there, I fired the laser at like 1%. I couldn't even see the laser, the light. And then I think at 3%, it finally came and actually you could see the light on the paper. So I don't know if the power and speed on this, but this max power is going to be 25% total. And I think this needs to be grayscale. Well, it said, I mean, I'm just going by what it said on the Etsy page for Jarvis, 25% max power. And I'm still not seeing the results. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. You see it? I don't see it. Let's lift the lid and see if we can see anything. No, basically, I'm not seeing anything. Let's go ahead and stop this. We'll go back home because it's just not there. And let's go back here. Let's go back to grayscale. And max power 100%. Go big or go home. Minimum power, let's just leave it at 25 because I'm not really seeing anything. Let's just make that 20%. DPI is the same. We're doing the overscan, which is good. Grayscale. And what does this come out to? Total 20 minutes. This is going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit. So let's go ahead and edit this. Just make this the 20. And we'll frame this out. Which that looks good. And we'll just go ahead and hit start. And with this range of power between 20% and 100 at 1,000, I'm hoping we'll get some better results. I mean, it can't be any worse because we're not really getting anything. We could only fast forward through time. Actually, this is going to end up being, let me update this, so it'll be the 18. And then when we hit the 18 on our thing, then we'll do the countdown. So about 30 seconds. Now, if I was just doing clip art stuff, black and white, threshold, this would be no problem. Because, boom, set it at 1,000 speed, 100%, boom, it engraves right through it. No problem whatsoever. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll get another minute and we can start the timer. So we're seeing a little bit coming through, at least more than what we did before. But obviously this 3D depth map, I wonder if there's a test for a 3D depth map. That would be interesting to see. We're getting a little bit more. And yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff, testing out the laser. So we got about 18 minutes left. Getting a little bit more. I don't know, it's hard to tell. We shall see. So going back to this. So I set it at a speed of 1,000 because that's the recommended speed by Wainlux, the company for this. Max power 100%. So I know at 100% it will go through and it will engrave and you'll be able to see the metal crisp, clean. The test material or the material test came out great. And I had a line interval of 0.05 for that, so I don't really care. But the minimum power, 20%, grayscale, yeah, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We will see. Looks like we're getting a little bit of something in there. Oh, this countdown restarts. It stops and restarts when I transfer to another page. Okay. So maybe I should just stay on this page as it counts down. We're getting a little bit of something. Today is gym day too. thinking about doing a different workout plan. We're going to see what happens. So we are getting something a little bit. Getting a little bit better. That's the best one we've gotten so far. So you can actually see the toes coming in. Yeah, I think we it'll be so nice to get a better laser, especially one where it's got the camera. You can really center in your graphics onto your material. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. See how it goes. Today is going to be a late workout day. It's already 9 o'clock. Actually, it's 10 after 9 in the morning here in Korea. So we're getting a little bit better. Excuse me. So yeah, we're getting a little bit better. So yeah, this image here, that's what it's supposed to look like. And this is the depth, the prepared image. So yeah, it does different depths and how the laser engraves so that you end up with a result like this, which would be, I mean, if we look at this, that would be awesome. And I've seen pictures of people doing this and getting this result. So it's not like it's unattainable, but at least it is for me right now. So it's getting there. Timer resets. So we got about 12 minutes, 30 seconds left. But the good thing is that once you get through all the testing, so you do the material test, which was super easy, ended up being a few minutes, boom, I think 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. Straight engraving, no problem. So if I want to do a clip art image, just a black and white, name, little picture, graphic, yeah, I could do that in a heartbeat because I know those settings. But for this is a whole nother animal. But it's coming out better. But again, we might have to play with the good thing is we're seeing the shadows like on the toes and the boots. And so that's coming out a lot better than what I thought. Before we weren't really getting anything. So yeah, we're getting some type of image on there. The joys of testing. And I'm out of latte. Almost makes you want to be sad. But we got about 10 minutes left. So here's what I'm going to do. While this is running, I'll let you, the couple of people that are watching, I'm going to go put this in the sink and wash it. I'm going to get my shake ready, and then I'll come back. It'll be a few minutes, and I'll definitely be back before 10 minutes is over. So, yeah. Matter of fact, we can do the countdown overlay, and we can do the 10 minutes, and because that's what we got, is supposedly 10 minutes left, starting now. So we'll see how this goes. I'll be back in a few. Alrighty. We're getting there. It's a faint image. But yeah, I might have to up the power, the minimum power, because the minimum was set to 20%. Maybe I'll bump it up to 30. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. We're getting there, so we'll see what happens. But interesting stuff. Some of the, since we're waiting for these last few minutes, I ended up making a Star Wars. Let's get back to this. Ended up doing a Star Wars ornament, so I did that one there. I did a more detailed one here. You can see there. That was a little practice one. I had a little bit of a failure up here. But then got a real ornate one, and that turned out kind of good. The laser is better focused on that, so doing ornaments. Ended up doing a contact code, business contact code thing, so that turned out pretty good. So that actually, I could actually scan that, and then we did, what is some other one? I actually did this one on glass. So if we can get that to focus in. Focus. There we go. So I did that on glass, and that turned out great. So that was some black acrylic paint on the front, and then engraved it, and then it also comes out on the back as well. So, and the amazing thing is the QR code works whether it's normal or backwards. Who knew? And then we ended up doing some metal engraving, as you can see there, so we got some real great results. And those were the stock settings of 1,000 at 100%. So I'm really kind of wondering about this 3D dog tag, but that's a whole different animal because, like I said, it ends up, I mean, we got some good results on that, as you can see there. I mean, we got some wicked good results. So, go figure. Oh, what was the other thing we ended up doing? Did some little engraving on the knife, on the little Gerber knife that we got there, so we did that. Did a little Celtic knot on here that came out really well. And then we ended up doing kind of a Damascus steel pattern on there, which I was really surprised that came out. So the other side, there's nothing on it, but yeah, just kind of a cool little focus, you know, cool little design there, and just pulled it off the internet and, you know, threw it on here. So yeah, fun stuff. But this is a little bit more challenging to try to figure out the settings for this. So I think the next thing we'll end up doing is we will bump up the power depending on what this looks like. We only got a little bit of time left. That's not the real time. We only got about 1.5 minutes left. So we'll see. We shall see. But it's been cool. Also been doing some slate coasters and show you that. So there's a slate coaster, and if we focus, yeah, and that came out really, really nice. Of course, this also has some semi-gloss varnish on it to protect it. And then we ended up, like this is, did a little bit of a wolf on the back of that to test out an image. but not bad. I think this is going to be, after this, we'll pull this after this one and see what happens. Because I want to show you the material test grid that I did on the other side of that, which was super easy. But this depth map thing is definitely going to need more tweaking. So the next one, what we might have to end up doing is bumping up the minimum power to 30% and see what we get. So close, so close. We get a little bit. We get a little bit there. You can end up, and we're done. Let's go ahead and pull it. What I should do, I'll end up, let me just go over here. Move this out of the way. And we will just remove our plate. Wow. And I think we could end up stretching this just a hair. Here in this direction as well. Okay, so let's get back to the good stuff. The easy stuff. And there was our test grid. So we ended up doing our test grid, which came out pretty well. And you can see that definitely, I think the best result was, of course it's kind of hard to see, but 1,000 at 100% or even 1,100 at 100% is pretty good. And we got a little bit of darker area. Man, it's just so hard to... Come on, focus, there we go. But we definitely got some real good results on that. So our test grid came out great. And now I'm really surprised because take a look at this. I mean, that basically came out almost like it should. Let me see if I can get some diffused light over here. So yeah, that came out not bad. Not bad at all for a speed of 100 and the speed of 1,000, max power 100, and the minimum power at 20%. That is not bad at all. I mean, that's pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed with that. Again, let's see if we can something I can hold up to kind of show this off. So you got kind of a clearer background. And if we can focus. So there it is. Not bad, huh? I mean, it looks better when you got some good light. And I think I'm kind of blasting out the light there. But you can see it just looks better in person, that's for sure. But it actually turned out kind of good. So I think a little bit of tweaks will come into play. And yeah, I am very pleased with that. I'm very surprised. So that ended up being the settings of 1000, max power 100, minimum power 20%, line interval of 0.07, which was a DPI of 363, and that turned out with grayscale, and it came out like such. If this will focus. Yeah. Not bad. Check that out. I mean, that, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. Very cool. Need to kind of make the image a little bit taller and a little bit kind of elongate it out a little bit because we missed a point up there. See at the very top how we have some black, and then down on the bottom we actually have the same thing. We got a little bit that we could squeeze over on that. Of course I got marker on my hand because I outlined it on my board over there, so I know where to set it. So yeah, we adjusted that, and interesting. So I think it turned out pretty good. A few tweaks and we could have some pretty cool looking dog tag here. So you can see that. Yeah, it turned out good. Very, very pleased with that. So, okay. So even though it took almost an hour going back and forth and trying different settings, we ended up getting our dog tag printed and our material test printed, which was so easy. That was really easy to do. Again, you always have to do a test on whatever you do, but now we know what we need to do for this, and we didn't waste a bunch of dog tags, so that's good. So what I'll end up doing, and again, that's what it's supposed to look like, so we'll get rid of that, and we will, so 100%, 1000 speed, 100% power, minimum 20, 0.07 for the line interval, grayscale, 363 DPI. We're good on that. And so now we'll go to our material library and create from layer. We'll call this dog tag black. No thickness. Black dog tag. What do I want this? 3D. Put 3D depth. 3D depth. Let's put K10 5 watts, so that way I know which one it is. And we'll just put 3D devs. Depth engraving. Okay, and then we'll hit OK. And then down here, we end up saying that we've got that, and we could assign that to our dog tag now. So I might run another one and try adjusting it, do a power of, doing a power of minimum power 30%, max power 100%, and we could see how that runs. But yeah, that's what we ended up doing. Cool, very cool. Alrighty, it's been a long time, but getting that 3D print ended up being really, really good. If we can get this thing to focus. Focus. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. Don't you love the cameras? Seriously. Of course, when I don't want it to focus, I can get it to focus. Maybe I need to do this. There we go. So there's that. And then, because everything's backwards, but we ended up with, yeah, our 3D dog tag that actually came out. So yeah, we'll run another one of these at 30% minimum power, 100% max power, grayscale, 0.07 interval, line interval, and yeah, we'll try that and compare the two. Not on this video, because I got to go to the gym. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of cool. And in case you're wondering where I got this from, it was this web page here for Etsy, which is from Evergreen Laser Files. So if you're wondering about who it is from, they do a lot of 3D depth images. So that'd be some cool stuff for some tile. That'd be interesting to see how that would look on tile. If that, you know, I don't know if you'd be able to get that much, but hey, I've got some tile. Maybe we'll do that. And the prices aren't that bad. So yeah, you can find that there. So shout out to Evergreen Laser Files. They ended up being, it actually works. So talk about cool. Anyway, tell me what you think about the final results, and have you printed out anything like this for a 3D image? And would you be interested in buying something like this? I don't know, just like put it on your keychain or something like that, or as a dog tag. That could be kind of cool. Maybe a zipper holder. Us old people, we need larger things because we're old. So, okay, that's going to be it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. If you want to buy me a coffee, you could do that in the description box down below. And here's a bunch of people that bought me coffee, and they're awesome, and I have much respect for them. So, with that being said, I got to get to the gym. Time to work out. I'm already late, and I'm feeling bad and guilty. So, I got to go, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. Yeah, that turned out great.